Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll be talking about the town of Sachse and why it's the next big thing to hit North Texas. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I love doing features on beautiful cities in North Texas because we have so many of them, but one I'm particularly interested in is the city of Sachse. It's right there at the Collin County, Dallas County line, northeast Dallas County. Many of you have probably driven by the famous boxcar, but to dig into that today, we're going to talk to Gina Nash. She's the city manager. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Very cool. And when we were talking off air about this, you absolutely light up when you talk about Sachse, don't you?
I do. I made the joke with you that I have a face for radio, but if I get to talk about my city, I light up because it's such a joy. It's such a great community to work for, live in, the people, everything that we have. I mean, it's such a wonderful community, and I love it.
And you've been in and around city government for more than 2 decades now. What makes Sachse such a special place to live?
It has all things to do with community. I think that's the biggest thing that we are so fortunate that we have. We have all kinds of families, all different backgrounds. We have old people, young people, and everything in between. And everybody loves living there, and they love being a part of the community. They love participating in the events. They love how safe our community is. We're a very proactive community. We're always out there doing things to make people safe in the community. Our firefighters are out there giving kids rides on fire trucks, and we have a public safety day, and the kids can see inside of police cars and inside of the station. And there's all sorts of just cool things that we do that people feel connected. And I think that's what makes us so special.
And I think people would be surprised to learn 25,000 people. Yeah. That's a big town.
It is. Yeah. Actually, what's interesting is my husband grew up in a city near Sachse. And when I told him that I was looking to, become the next city manager, he said, well, Sachse's just a hayfield. And I said, oh, you haven't been there in a long time. And he was just blown away. He was like, this place is amazing. I had no idea. And so it's really just kind of come up in its own way, through the connection of the George Bush Turnpike. And then, of course, Highway 78. I mean, it's a highway now. And so, but we've still retained our small town charm. And that's the thing I think that really makes us so special.
And, we keep building north all the way up to Oklahoma. You can get from downtown Sachse to downtown Dallas with no traffic in less than half an hour. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You can. And that's, I think, what is so appealing to people is they want all of the amenities that a bigger city has to offer, but they get that small town feeling. They get to go and enjoy and experience those things, but then also get to be in a town where people know each other and, are at events together and do things together at school functions. And, so we get to have it all. Yeah. It's really great.
I've got to brag about your marketing team because you put together a wonderful video recently. Let's roll a clip of it now.
Well, thank you so much for taking me on this tour, Mayor. I really appreciate it.
No problem, Amanda. I look forward to showing you all the cool things happening in Sachse. It's great to be out here in the community now, and once, going through the pandemic and so much social distancing, so it feels really good to be out here with you today.
Oh, most definitely, and it's such a beautiful day.
Man, where should we head first? Let me think. I guess we can go up this way and I can show you some of the things that are going on up in this part of the town. Let's see. Let's see, where am I showing? Let's go down to Merritt Road. There's a Sachse staple I want to show you.
Perfect.
Let's just go down Merritt Road. That's a good start anyway.
Oh, look, it's our city manager.
Oh my goodness. Looks like she's been walking for a while. Oh my goodness.
Hey guys.
Gina, just happened to be going by here. Hey, how are you?
Hey, whew. This Texas heat's killing me.
I'm sure you got some great exercise this morning.
I did.
I'm taking Amanda on a tour of Sachse, and well, why don't we talk about the station?
Excellent. That's one of my favorite things to talk about. It's our brand new $250 million mixed-use project. It's right there on the George Bush between Miles and Merritt. And you can see that the new multifamily has started. Very nice luxury apartments that we'll have that are right across the street from our new retail and restaurants. Got 2 new restaurants coming in. One of your favorites, Mayor, Manny's Uptown Tex-Mex.
Yummy, yummy.
And the Brass Tap. So those will be our first 2 restaurants, and we'll have some more retail to be announced coming soon. And then we've got all those brand new houses that are being constructed. Some of our first new residents of Sachse at the station are already in. So many exciting things happening down there. Can't wait to see what comes next.
I love how you guys poke fun at yourself with your production studio. I want to come visit. I'm impressed if you're doing that kind of film work. That's amazing. So let's talk more about some of the highlights of Sachse, some things that people wouldn't know about.
I think some of the newer things that we're doing is, unfortunately, like a lot of North Texas towns, we kind of scraped our downtown, and we don't have all of those cool buildings and houses and things like that. We have a ton of our history that we preserved, and I think that's wonderful, but we don't actually have the structures anymore. And so we are going to recreate our downtown. We're going to have an old town with restaurants and retail and really kind of bring some of that back. And again, coming back to what the common theme about Sachse community is, that's one of the things that we're going to be able to do. We had an event in preparation for rebuilding the downtown called Backyard on 5th. And it was a cool event where we had a beautiful tree canopied area with string lights, and we'd have, singer-songwriters come out, and we'd have food trucks, and it was amazing. And we really realized that that was a proof of concept that people want that sense of community. And that's what we'll be building with that new downtown. And we're really excited about it.
Great schools, low crime. I mean, it really has all of the things that any young couple would look for if they're looking for a town that's not in Oklahoma. And and these days with remote work, I mean, half of the workplace is working from home. So what a beautiful place to work, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it is.
Okay, so let's talk about COVID, because that hit every city, and there wasn't a playbook for that. So how did you guys navigate COVID?
Well, I think any city manager will tell you it was the hardest thing they've ever done. We're used to emergency operations where it's very short-lived and it's kind of like a sprint, and COVID was a marathon. And so one of the things for a community like ours that is so focused on quality of life is we couldn't do all the things we wanted to do. We couldn't all get together and do all of our events and do all those things. And, for any city employee that is so driven and passionate about that, it just crushes your soul. And so we have such a creative team, all of our folks, and we had events like our Halloween event. So we built this giant candy chute out of PVC pipe,
cool,
up the steps of our police station, and our police officers were shooting candy through it to little kids with bags underneath, and it was a hoot. And we had lines down the street for it. It was fantastic. We did traditionally we have an Easter egg hunt on the City Hall campus, and what we did is we just put some eggs around City Hall, and people could come and just take 10 or 12 with their kids and socially distance, and we did it over a period of 4 days. Another thing we did for other folks is through our fire station, we did a little Easter egg kit in a bag, and we had Sparky the fire dog, and we had the Easter bunny, and all of our firefighters and folks, and we were handing out little Easter egg kits, and it was a huge hit. We had, I think, several thousand eggs handed out to families. So we got super creative during COVID, and we, tried to make lemonade from lemons, and really our residents were just so appreciative of any of those things that we could do. And then, of course, to finally this summer, we were able to get out and do some things that we wanted, and our Red, White, and Blue Blast is such a phenomenal event, and we draw people from everywhere. And just sort of as a plug for that, the same people that do the fireworks for Addison Kaboom Town do our fireworks.
Wow.
Absolutely. And we had about 20,000 people attend this year. And we had a great band and food, and it was just awesome to have everybody back together again with a big fireworks celebration.
I love the way your eyes light up when you talk about this. So some towns can grow too fast, and they don't have the infrastructure to enough police and fire and the roads. And so how have you navigated the robust growth that you guys have experienced in the last decade?
Well, so I think fortunately for us, some of it kind of came in spurts. Sachse was sort of a small town, for many, many years, and then had some big growth as North Texas did in the early 2000s. Then unfortunately the recession happened, but I think for Sachse it was a time for us to catch up. And then, sort of with all the new businesses that came in, sort of that big tech corridor in Richardson, and then we had Raytheon and State Farm, and then all of a sudden we had another big explosion of growth. But we've been able to keep up with it and really been able to make sure that we were doing it right. And that's what I was really grateful for in our community, is that we weren't rushed, and we had the opportunity to keep up with the pace with the growth. But it's been a wild ride for sure, just like it is in any North Texas city.
We've only got about a minute left. What else would you like to tell people about Sachse that they might not know?
Well, I think one thing, our name, I always say, hard to say, easy to love, S-A-C-H-S-E, Sachse. But I think one of the things I want people to know is that we're a very diverse community. We've got a lot of different kinds of people that live there, but we're building a great downtown, and we've got a phenomenal $250 million mixed-use development coming into the city called The Station. It'll be right off the President George Bush Turnpike. So when you see us as you're headed east, you can see the big water tower and all of the things that we're doing: retail, restaurants, single-family homes, some multifamily living, a hospital. It's going to be phenomenal. Wow. Very excited.
Gina, thank you for coming on the show. We're going to end with the website, which is cityofsachse.com. Gina Nash, the city manager. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.